What's up, everybody? So today we are going big. This is going to be a big saltwater. You could use it for pike, but really we designed or we modified this fly for saltwater fishing. This is going to be a Yanks Assassin, or a version of the Yanks Assassin. The problems we were having with the Yanks Assassin is when we were taking it offshore, catching big jacks in the 25-pound class, big kings. Even some big cobias, they were straightening the hooks that the Umpqua version of the Yanks Assassin was coming with. So we beefed it up. We're tying this on a saltwater. This is a Tiemco 600 SP, and this is going to be a 3/0 hook. So it's got a much bigger gap, and it's just a solid, you can see the piece of steel there. It's just a solid hook. We've never straightened this hook, and I've tied a ton of flies on it, caught some really big fish on it, and it's stout. It holds up. So to start the Yanks, and this is a super simple fly, great saltwater fly. We've played with all sorts of different streamers, different saltwater streamers, and this has by far been our best producer. This is a fantastic design. It's basically a clouser that is tied longer, more full, has a lot more movement, and it just flat out gets it done. This is a super fly. I've caught tiger muskie, pike, we've caught, like I said, kings, we've caught all sorts of really just predator fish with this thing. So we're going to start just like we would a clouser. We're going to tie in the eyes. I'm leaving a little bit of room to build up the head up front, and we're going to wrap around the base of those eyes and just keep kind of Xing back and forth on those eyes. This is just a heavy duty barbell eye. I like the look of this one. We're going to coat that thread up and down the hook, and then give it one more, and we're going to hit all of this with a little bit of super glue. I will say this: when you are fishing for big fish, you need every part of your fly to be as durable as it can be. So I do a lot of super glue. I do a lot of thread wraps. This is a really heavy duty thread. It's a Vivus thread. I'm not exactly sure what it is. 140 denier, it looks like. Really good stuff. Okay, so part one, and you can see that super glue is kind of setting up. Part one of this is going to be to tie in the tail, which is going to consist of bucktail, it's going to consist of ostrich, and it's going to consist of flash, and that's it. And the bucktail really is there just to hold up the ostrich, because ostrich has got a lot more movement than the bucktail, and if you tie it in by itself, it's going to flop around, get tangled around the hook, and cause you some problems. So what you want to do is add a little bucktail to it. Just going to comb this white bucktail out, flick out all the shorts, get out there's a little bit of not pretty stuff in there, make it look nice. And then we are going to tie this in at the back of the hook. Go ahead and clean up the tie-in spot, clean it up a little. We're going to tie this in right at the back of the hook. Good sized chunk of bucktail. You can see that's a big piece of bucktail there. So I'm going to tie that in, really lock it in, and clean it up a little bit. Next up, we're going to add our first batch of ostrich, and this is going to be the belly of the fly, obviously, because this is going to ride upside down. So this part of the fly is going to be white. So we're going to tie in some white ostrich for this part of the fly. Let me get a knock of white ostrich here. Okay. Come back here and just pluck those. We want it all to be about the same. Let's give it another batch. And I'm cutting about 10 fibers each time. Cut the butts off, tie that in. Not too particular about how long it is, how perfect it is, because I can always come in and just pinch the very tips of those to make them about the same length. Okay, so there is the bottom part. Next, we are going to add a little bit of flash, and I use a lot of different kinds of flash in this fly, but we're going to start with some, this is just a holographic Flashabou. Good sized chunk of holographic Flashabou, and we're going to tie it in on both sides. So I'm going to tie it in on the close side to me. Pull it to length. Split it. Get it on the other side. That was super glue again. A lot of the folks that like to use the UV, that works really well too. I really like this super glue because it just soaks in to everything and really locks it in. Okay. Now I'm actually going to turn this, and we're going to hit it with a little bit of blue Flashabou, and we're going to hit it with a little bit of blue. I'm going to pin this. Hit a little blue on that. It's got blue and some little holographic silver in there. Get this back. I'm trying to keep it on that side so you guys can see it. Now we're going to use this, I call it a Kingfisher blue, but it's just a beautiful blue ostrich. And we're going to tie this on both sides. Blue here. And okay. So there's the beginning part of it. We're about ready to finish this up. Next, we're going to do some crystal chenille. And we're just going to wrap this up. Tie it off in front. Okay, so we're getting close. Here's our last part. We're going to take a nice little piece of bucktail. Give it a nice little finish.